Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the merciful and the compassionate. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to all the earthling who is with me today and those who are here together with me this morning. Baru sebentar tadi, Tok Guru saya yang mak dok kecek Kelantan. Saya rasa Tok Guru dok kecek Kelantan. Kalau saya tak kecek Kelantan, saya malu lah. Saya tak berani nak deraka dengan Tok Guru saya yang mak ni. Sebenarnya, ayah mak ni Tok Guru besar saya. Kita mengambil ilmu dari Tok Kenali. Jadi orang yang mari ambil ilmu dari Tok Kenali ni masa dia berdiri atas petah gini, dia kena kecek Kelantan. Tapi ayah mak beritahu ke saya, cakap biar molek. Ladies and gentlemen, I was very reluctant to receive this professorship when the Sekjen and the Vice President of this World Philosophical Body came to me. I asked myself, what do I need this for? Why do I want this? And before I begin, I would like to ask you, why am I here? If not for the word. You write nasty things. That's the word from my Prime Minister, Tun Dr. Mahathir, to me in a function where I met Rafida Aziz was there. And it's about, I was to write about the biography of Tony Fernandez Asia. And then after halfway, when I think I write nasty thing, I don't want to write about Tony Fernandez. I stop the whole thing. I go back to write nasty things. I think the best thing is to write nasty thing about nasty people. Right? How can I write good thing about nasty people? You tell me. You cannot write good thing about nasty people. And another reason, I did not say I refuse when I told him, Sir, Tok Guru, ayah mak, mu ni naga. Naga mari depan ambo ni. Dok mari geliga. Ambo nak kata apa lagi? But I said, please, allow me to speak as I please. Because I am the man who owns ISA Prime Consultant. You know what that means? Professor Dato' Halo N, he asked me, what is ISA? I said, sir, have you forgotten that you were also under SA? And so many people has been under ISA. Then the government can just do anything to anybody as they please. Just arrest somebody, put him under SA. You don't have to bring him to court. He is guilty before he is proven innocent. So I said, I don't need a cable. I don't need a high voltage cable to the Minister of Home Affairs to be an honor of ISA Prime Consultant. Saya kecek kata guru, ayah mak, ISA tu ikut suka aku lah. Ikut suka aku lah. I do as I please. Right? I'm born to be a free man. I remember the word of William Wallace in the movie called The Brave Heart. Freedom! And I cry for freedom. I want my freedom. I'm living in a democratic country, but I don't see the democracy, the government of the people, by the people, for the people. But I say, allow me to dress with the color I please. Otherwise, you will give it to me. My son, who is there, will represent me to accept this. I have my son in front there. Muhyiddin Alatas. Or my daughter, Dr. Sharifah Fatimah, who has a doctorate in sociology. Not me. He said, what is it you want? I want to dress in white. Why white? I say, you want to know why? Because in Malaysia, in this country of mine, only after you are wrapped up with a white cloth, then they give you the ownership. They did that to P. Ramlee. He's the greatest philosopher. He's one of the greatest movie men, I think, in the whole world. He's an actor, director, producer, singer, musician, and he did so much for the country. You know what they did to him? When he didn't need all these things, after wrapping him up, buried him, they give him Tan Sri. I say, I'm dead. I'm dead. That's why I accept this. Matikan diri kamu sebelum kamu mati. Saya dah matikan diri saya, sebab itu saya berani menerima anugerah ini. Dan satu lagi syarat. Saya kata, ayah mak, profesor ni hak mana satu nak bagi ke saya ni? Profesor Mak Dia ke? Tok Mak tak tahu. Profesor Mak Dia tu apa dia? Madia lah Mak Dia. Sama je. Bunyi je lain-lain. Ada kata Madia, ada kata Mak Dia. Bukan. Hak mana? Profesor sok-sek ke? Dia tak pernah dengar benda-benda gini, academician. Associate professor. Oh, associate professor. Tu saya tambah. Dah hak mana nak? Saya pun takut nak terima title professor ni. Nama elok-elok, rupa elok-elok, orang panggil saya pro. Oh, teruk kena jadi pro. Saya tak mau jadi pro. Tapi tak apalah, saya katakan. It's okay. I will accept it. Yeah? Because it is rude not to accept a gift of God through my mentor or through anybody else. Just like the first time I was offered by the Sultan of Aceh, he came to my house and he offered me a datorship. He said, Tuan Syed, kita daripada Aceh ni nak bagi Tuan Syed datorship. I look at him. Untuk apa tuanku? Dia kata, Tuan Syed dah banyak berjasa dengan Indonesia, dengan Aceh. Dan menulis buku-buku tentang perjuangan di Aceh. I have written books on the revolution that killed most of the Sultan in Indonesia in 1946. And I also wrote books on tsunami in Aceh. And many of my books contains about what is happening in Aceh. So I say, okay, I will accept it. But please remember, if Muhammad don't go to the mountain, mountain comes to Muhammad. You come to my house, to my residence, I will accept that dato-ship. If you don't come to my residence to give me this ownership to be a dato, there's too many dato here. You go to a golf course, it's just a stone store, it hits on the head of a dato. Golf course only. And who's the dato? The chief of the golf car. And you know, it's cheap. Maybe 100,000 USD, you can buy a dato-ship. You don't have to write 80 books like me to get a dato-ship. ISA, ikut suka aku lah siapa aku nak bagi dato-ship. And if I use that dato-ship, it is not recognized. Because it's not given in Malaysia. So I don't use it. I don't know whether I've got to use this professorship because it's given by World Philosophical Forum. They say, who's this? Where these people come from? They don't even know. You know, in front of this intellectual professors. Usually I like to speak my language, you know. I feel very, very uncomfortable if something not nice coming out from my mouth. And my beloved wife is just sitting next to me. She always, bang, jangan bang, bahasa itu susah pakai. Don't use that word. I used to be in New York, you know. I used to be in New York. I used to be there. I used to travel in America, see American film. I love that four-letter words. I love it. My wife don't like it. Because I love my wife in front of her, I won't use it. But once in a while, it has to come out from my mouth. But in Malaysia now, you don't have to use that four-letter word starting with F. You say, 1 MDB, they know. 1 MDB, that's a four-letter word. You can use that in Malaysia. Nothing wrong when you say 1 MDB. If I talk about 1 MDB, I think I have to speak about my last book. I think it's one of the reasons why I'm standing in front of you here. I predicted the end of Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak, the ex-Prime Minister. In that picture just now, you saw me and Najib, standing next to me when he was the Ketua Pemuda. Right? I know him before he was born. Right? I know his father. When his father came to my kampung Wadiana, got married to Kak Reha, the daughter of Tan Sri Ajino, who is my neighbor. So I know Najib. Right? So he's a good man. He's a nice man. But as I said in the talk of University of Life, some nice people, some intelligent people, they too make mistakes. Right? That's not the end of the world. That's not the end of life. Actually, I invited him to come for dinner tonight. And I showed, without asking the professor here, whether I can invite Dato Sri Najib and Kak Rosmah. People call her the Big Mama. Whatever it is, you know, I mean, some people, the moment a friend drops, that's it. They walk away. I don't. I invited him. And his secretary SMS to me. I showed the SMS. Pak Abid, sorry, I have to attend the court today. Kak Ros has got to call the court today because I predicted, who knows, he has to go to jail. But nothing wrong in going to jail. Mandela goes to jail. Right? So going to jail, well, it's normal, right? If you have done something wrong, you need to be punished. And he's still young, you know. Within these few months, Malaysia have captured world news. Right? Never happened in the world history, a 93-year-old man became a prime minister. Give a big clap to my Prime Minister, Tun Dr. Mahathir. And me and my secretary of the political club, Malaysia's political club, bangun abang T. Ustaz Sayuti, please. He is the secretary to Malaysia's political club, writers club, political writers club. I'm the president, right? During the time of Dr. Mahathir when he was a prime minister, that's why he can last for 22 years. You saw the pictures? I read a book of Dr. Mahathir and I hand it over to him. He smiled and take the book. But one day he asked me a question. Sometimes I got scared also, If I got to lose my, I cannot write anymore, I got scared. Nak tulis apa pula ni? Orang utara, dia cakap orang utara lah. Tulis apa lepas ni? What you gonna write after this? I said, you wait and see. Right. And this year, today is the 14th of November, the first time in history of my writing, I have not written a book. You will ask me, why? Why I stopped writing? Everybody do something for a reason. You don't do something for nothing, right? I have a book because, now I'm recognized by this world philosophy. I got to write in English, I cannot write in Malay anymore. They want to know what I have here. They don't want to look at my hair. In Malaysia, if a man with a long hair like me, they will think I'm a Papa Rock. I'm not a writer. And I'm not mistaken for that. The Vice President, I was past you just yesterday night, and say, you look like a musician. Do I look like a musician? Look at me. But somehow, I think I have something in common with him. My first book in 1969, we are a great fan of Socrates. Great fan of Socrates. In chapter 9, page 9 of that book, I introduces Socrates to the Malaysian Reading Society. I quoted what Socrates says. Know yourself. And then I remember, if you know yourself, you know God. But Socrates didn't say that, just know yourself. So I think that knowledge is very important. So you have to know yourself. And then, I don't know why I love Greeks. That's why the Greek people come to me today. There's another great philosopher in Greek. He goes around the town with a lantern to the faces of the people. He wants to look at the faces. That's why the first book in Malaysia on facial analysis, you have to somehow learn to read a person like you're reading a book, and introduces another one thing I like about Socrates. When I was young, I fell in love. I wanted to get married. I don't have a job. But it doesn't matter whether you have a job or you don't have. You want to get married, you get married. And who tells you that? Socrates says, by all means, get married. Socrates told me this, get married. Oh, that's nice. He says, you ask Any eligible bachelor here who doesn't want to get married? Any young man who doesn't want to get married? I have another son there, Kamal Arif. Please stand. Go on. That's my son. Don't you want to get married? Of course you do, right? But not now. Please sit down. So Socrates tell me, by all means, get married. So I got married. Yeah? My father was surprised. How did you get married? I say, in Islam, you have a woman, you have 2 witnesses, a qadi says to you, get married. So I'm married. It surprises my father. I got married without my father's knowledge. Even if I tell him I want to get married, he will say no. So I do it first, without asking permission, then say sorry. And then another thing Socrates says, because today is a philosophical day. It's about Greek. It's about philosophers. When we talk about philosophers, we talk about Greek. We talk about the great philosophers of the world. They came from Greek, thousands of years ago. So Socrates says, if you are lucky, you get a good wife. If not, you become a philosopher. I like to be a philosopher. So, without my wife's permission, if I ask her for permission just like I asked my father, can I get married? Surely he said no. You think my first wife will say, okay, go ahead and get married? No. I got married and she found out. I said, sorry. Accidentally I got married. So, that's my second wife. Still I'm not a philosopher. Right? Then about 35 years ago, I met my beloved wife here. But then, I'm already a grandfather. Yeah? When she spoke to her mother, this is all about Socrates, Please, I have not run away from the topic. I haven't finished. So the mother says, why do you want to marry an old man? One day I came with my sports car. I'm a collector of sports cars in my younger days. Yeah, I drove. Then she was not married to me. I sent her. The mother looked out from the door and asked her, who is that man? That's the man I'm getting married. Go and marry him. He's still young. You like that? Yeah? Of course. So get married. It's not that easy, Her father is somebody. I'm scared. But mountains and rivers is no barrier to the bird that has wings. That's what Confucius says. And I learned that when I was 12 years old, when I was still in school. My teacher named Arjan Singh taught me this. He says, this is what Confucius says. That's the beginning when I learned the word confused. I said, sir, why do you ask me to learn from a confused man? He's not a confused man, he's Confucius. Oh, Confucius. So he's not a confused man? No. Okay. So I go to the father. Bravely, Sir, I want to marry your daughter. Can I marry your daughter? You're welcome to the family. The father has got 4 wives in the house. How lucky I am. No question asked. Right? Is it all right to speak this on my keynote day? Well, I have told him, if I cannot speak as I please, forget the professorship, forget the earth, whatever it is, yeah? I don't want it. I want to speak from my heart. I want you to open up, switch on your vibration, switch on your frequency and wavelength. So we talk each other from the heart the mouth is only nothing. And thank you for giving me this toy. How many minutes I have, Prof? Another 5 minutes? Not finished? Okay. I don't know when. Somebody has to quote me when to finish. You know when? When I got this, I got addicted to the politician who, when you give this, they never stop talking. So, this is a very dangerous toy. And they have given me this toy. I hope they don't regret it. I said, I don't want to write a text. I'll speak off the cuff. Then I'm a free man. Right? Well, I've attended a few occasions where they do the keynote and all these things. Honestly, I'm bored. Honestly. Right? So, I don't want you people to get bored. Right? So, this is my keynote. This is about life. This is what University of Life is all about. Let me tell you something about why I built this University of Life in the jungle. Why? I want to bring the new generation, like Socrates did. He talked to the young people. The young people need a change. But the old generation, the old school of thought, they are afraid of new ideas. So I start this University of Life. I say, you have to get out of that cocoon. As long as you stay as a what do you call it? Centipede, ulat, you'll never be a butterfly. Nobody can see your beauty. Nobody wants to frame you in their house. You know, there's a white man. I met somebody from Cambridge yesterday. When we were talking, suddenly he stood up and stand by my side. He said, sorry, I interrupted. I think she came. Both of them, I didn't know they were from Cambridge. They had long hair like me. I thought they were also a musician like me. Now you see a man with long hair, Jeff, not all men with long hair is a musician. You should see what inside here, not this outside here. So he said, can I say something? You're very blunt, something like that. Of course, I cannot speak like the British people, like, you know, the Londoners, yeah? So, okay, you're most welcome. Right? So, they're there. Could you stand, please? Somebody from Cambridge who are with us today. Just because of my talk. Give a big hand to them. Invited by the professor. Please. So, this is life. So somebody has to know, if you want to be Raja Brook, an Englishman came all the way from London, and he became the Sultan of Sarawak, the White Raja, because he dared. You must dare dreams. You must be brave. So he came, and he was made. And now the most beautiful butterfly is named after Raja Brook, not after a Malay name. And it is very expensive. It's a rare collection. Get out of that cocoon. That's the purpose of the University of Life. And when I built that University Life, I did not go for anybody to give me a grant or go to the government. I built it myself, on my own. It took me 30 years before I could almost complete it, but still not completed. Every time I sell a book, I save some money, put it there. Because I know, if somebody give me the money, the government give me the money, I don't want to face the life of my, I should say, it's difficult, well, whatever it is. I will say my professor, Tan Sri Syed Nagib Alatas, is known to the world. he built Istec. What happened to him? If they don't like you, like you think we have the professor here, Professor Zaini, could you stand up on my behalf, please? He was a Chicago boy. He and the other professor, who is not able to come here, he has to go to Indonesia, Professor Wan Muhammad, they are all Chicago boys. They come from the University of Chicago. Right? And I want to tell you my story. Maybe my story would help you open up your mind. Maybe. It doesn't matter. Because this is me. You give me the chance to talk. That's my son, Muhyiddin. I want him to be a philosopher. Right? I spent about 300,000 ringgit. I sent him to Otago University under Professor Flynn to take up philosophy, politics, and economics. He came back. Then he met Prof. Zaini. I don't know what he did to my son. He says, I've got a big stick here. If your son doesn't listen to me, he's going to beat. That's the way the Malays are taught. When they send their children to study Quran, the teacher have a big cane. And they hand over their son to a teacher. You can do anything to my son. Don't break him to pieces. That's all. Think whether this is something good. Because the Malay proverb say, if you love your son, beat him. Pukul. I don't agree to that. I have my other son here who is a Londoner. His name is Dick Muhammad Nagib. Could he stand? Okay. You see, he asked me to stop talking. You see, Londoners, they are like that. Yeah? If they don't like you talking, but they are not like American. They don't say the four-letter word. 1 MDB, you know? Okay. So, I was lucky. Right? Because met him. And my dream of sending my son to St. Andrews in Scotland, I don't know, because I'm a school dropout. You know, there was another reason why I was scared. My head was shaking. A school dropout to be given the professorship. I want him to be a professor. And I was told that St. Andrews in Scotland, there, he can become a professor. If he cannot become one, he become a golfer. He become like Tiger Woods. So Malaysia can produce another Tiger Woods. He's here stuck. But never mind, if I have the opportunity, I'm sending him back to Professor Flynn in New Zealand. Finish? I think I've talked too much. Okay? So, how do I end up my speech? I would say, you see, they give me the name of these people, and I'm not good in pronouncing Greek name or whatever it is. I was given these names, so I should say thanks to these people. Yeah, if I do not pronounce your name properly, just like the English people, they cannot pronounce the word klang. They say clang or whatever it is, kluang, kluang. You think the English people can pronounce a Malay word properly? Durian. Okay, I think I should be thankful to the classical professors, Professor Dr. Igno Konderisian. Am I right? Thank you, sir. He's the president of the World Philosophical Forum. And next is Professor Dr. Jeffrey Levet. Correct? Thank you. Professor Levet, the Vice President of the World Philosophical Forum. And next is Professor Dr. Stephen, I don't know, Voga, Zianos. Huh? Roy. Just Roy. Okay. I will just say his name, Roy. Professor Roy. Anything you take a shortcut. And most of all, to my Tok Guru, the man I love very much. I have a very high respect. In my early days, something after the continuity of the writing of, Socrates, Know Yourself, I go deep into the study of the inner self through the book of my professor, which got into trouble, Hakikat Insan. That book has helped me, where he got from his grandfather got from Tok Kenali. Yeah? So this man, I owe so much to him. And I thanks my children who are together with me today, because grandchildren is not allowed to go, Otherwise, I bring my grandchildren, my great-great-grandchildren. I want them to see their grandfather. But whatever it is, another thing, I have to thank this, I can pronounce the name. Dr. Hasbullah Zakaria, Deputy Secretary General, World Philosopher Forum. And Muhammad Hafizul Dato Ahmad, Head of World Philosophical Forum, Malaysian branch. Thank you everybody, Tan Sri, Dato, Datin, Puan Sri, professors, my learned friends, for allowing me to read my keynote using my mouth. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor Syed Hussein Alatas. And once again, congratulations on the achievement.